a sort of contemplative state right now, and it has to do with 4 wounds, 4 events that have hurt you. One is buried deep inside you, and the other 3 are a little bit more on the surface level. One actually can go way back to some sort of religious institution. One of these injuries that you're, I don't know, in some sort of contemplative state about, it can go way back to when you were, I don't know, possibly religious or in some sort of academic institution. Some sort of authority figure injured you. And right now it's the 2 directions that seem to be blinding you, where you can't seem to make up your mind, and so you bury yourself. You bury yourself and shelter yourself with this indecision that you need to actually take action on. I see in your future some sort of communion with nature. I see a type of, I don't know, possibly you have a camping trip planned, or I see you being out in nature and it doing you a world of good. Somehow your spirituality or your connection with your higher power is going to be restituted, if that's a word. You'll feel some sort of upsurgence of faith due to this trip or activity that you do that's out in nature. Some sort of, you're in looking at the card, I don't want to be influenced by what you wrote as far as a comment went, but it does seem that you've taken on angel's wings to try to balance something not so pleasant. And that's, let me show you the card, just so you can see where I'm getting this from. Basically, looking at it is, you know, I want to tell you, you can't walk on water. You can't do the impossible, but well, actually, you know, you've never expressed any kind of addiction problem to me, but it seems like you're almost transferring one addiction to another. In your past, you're a person of integrity, and I want to say that you want to return to that person. Almost like that you feel you've cheated, you cheated yourself out of something that you used to be, and you want to return to that kind of discipline or virtue. You seem to want to walk through a fear. It's almost as if you're being sacrificed in some way. But the sacrifice isn't a sacrifice that you're making. It's a sacrifice that someone else has to make regarding you somehow. I'm not quite sure if they're your parents or siblings of some sort, but it's a letting go, and you feel courageous about going into whatever the unknown is. And I think they're open to letting you go now. You're not alone, even though it may appear that you are alone. You're not alone. You have tools within you, and those tools will guide you and help you. And I see a lot of love. I see a lot of love that you've turned your back on. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to be open to it. Your eyes are open, you know, and I think there's a curiosity. I see something very, again, some sort of spiritual awakening that's happening for you. It's almost as if you've taken a detour, and because of the detour that you've taken, as far as your faith is gone, you're going to come out of it stronger and more spiritually in tune. And it may not be the way you're used to being spiritual. You are going to find your own spiritual sense in self. And I see a sort of balance that you'll attain. You will know, you'll be in a position to help others, no doubt about that. But you'll know, you'll have your little, it's like a little, almost like a little timer where, you know, it'll be like, this amount I can do and this amount I need for me. And that you will achieve easily. You know, you'll find your sense of how much to give and how much to keep for yourself as far as your time and your energy goes, and your money. So basically I see, when I look at this whole thing, Mark, I see that you are trying to recapture something that you once had. But it means a trip into the unknown, or going into the unknown, or, you know, testing, you know, testing unfamiliar waters. But because of this, because you're brave enough to do this, you will recapture that person, or that value, or that ethic, whatever it is, that belief that you once had, although it won't be in the same structure. For you right now, it's all about faith, and I think the first step is taking that trip out in nature, whether it be a day trip or a camping trip, or, you know, I don't know, 2-week vacation. I'm not quite sure what it is. But I do see it's a communion with nature that's going to start this whole ball rolling for you.